Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 10th, it's May, it's 2025. I'm making this video because I keep getting the same emails over and over again where people that believe they're awake or fancy themselves awake or like to swim in the awake waters, as it were. Look at how white the channel. Stand by. Here we
They're here.
stand by. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, you know what? I'm never going to be one of those YouTubers that has a light there that shows round circles in my eyes. It looks stupid. I'd rather deal with my face fading out because who cares? This video is going to give you the ammunition you need to give to people that are climate change people. They believe in God, they believe in Bible, they believe in the shape, the biblical cosmology of the earth. They believe in so many things, but they don't understand climate change. These guys control the weather, and it goes way back, way back. But here, in this video, I'm going to show you some really great examples, and I'm going to give you the patents all over again. So,
Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you!
how dare you indeed. And just a little fun fact, Greta Thunberg is an actress. She's an actress. She's not real. She doesn't believe this, or maybe she does, but it doesn't matter. It's all been an incredibly elaborate agenda using everything in their power to cover up the fact that they are climate change. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes, let me clear something up real quick. Okay, last year at this time, I did a GoFundMe, and it was called Support My Journey and Hang Out for a Weekend. Well, this year, I'm doing the same exact thing. Being a content creator, especially now with so many of my channels back, I am banging out videos left, right, and center, and I love doing it. It's great, but it takes a lot of time. And me being me, talking about what I talk about, I'm completely demonetized, and I have been since the beginning of my YouTube quote-unquote career. So, same drill as last year. The top 5 contributors, okay, the top 5 donations automatically get at least a day or a weekend visit with me, depending on your time schedule. We'll work it out. The following top 10 contributors, I'm going to pick 5 out of those 10 to come visit you for a day, as long as you're all in the continental United States. And then for everybody else that donates, period, you're all going to be entered into a raffle where I'm going to be giving away 10 copies of Confusion in the Cosmos, 10 copies of Confusion in Christianity, signed by myself and the author. And then, on top of all of that, Dan Baidondi and John Pounders from Now You See TV asked me to speak at their SpiracyCon this year, from August 22nd to the 23rd in Cave City, Kentucky. And I will be speaking there. But everybody that donates to my GoFundMe will be entered in a raffle to win 2 SpiracyCon VIP tickets that you can see are already sold out. So it's a good deal for everybody involved. I have to fund my actions in some way, and this way seems to work out the best. If you can do it, you can do it. If not, it's all good. I just figured I'd clear it up because I know the first time I posted it, it was pretty confusing, and for that, I apologize. But I digress.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston, and I stumbled onto a video yesterday that was put up by 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗍, and it's a kid called, I think it's Big Asian Package Blog. I'm not sure, but I'll leave a link. I'm still trying to get his permission at this point to use some video he's got. If you've been on my channel for the last couple of years, you've seen me put up chemtrail videos over and over and over, and they're the ones that never get any views because nobody cares about the air they're breathing or the fact that the sun doesn't come out anymore. But after doing a couple of searches, this is a patent search. This is patent number 32396660, and it belongs to NASA. And it's right here. I'll leave a link to this PDF file. It's a star. NASA owned patent for a star. This is in 1971, and it goes back even further than that. In accordance with the procedures contained in the Code GP to Code USI memorandum on this subject dated June 8, 1970, the attached NASA-owned U.S. patent is being forwarded for abstracting an announcement in NASA Star. Corporate source, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗱. NASA patent case number HQN-10781. Gail Parker. And this is the numbering right here. This is crazy. Now things are starting to make a little bit more sense.
Over a decade ago, I put out that patent for NASA and 𝗏𝗷𝗱 in 1967, coming up with an artificial sun. And people tried to debunk it. People just tried to scoff at it. And even back then, when I was talking about it, it seemed crazy to me until I started learning about something called the ether. You see, way back in the day, there was a guy called Nikola Tesla, and you can thank him for lots of things like HAARP, Doppler, NEXRAD, Wi-Fi, things of that nature. But Tesla knew there was a thing called the ether. It's like something between water and plasma, and it surrounds us, and actually, I believe it's even in us. But fortunately, the mainstream, or the powers that be, or the scumbags that run things, came up with a guy called Einstein, and Einstein dropped the theory of relativity, and everybody forgot about the ether. Well, the elites use the ether. I'm almost positive that's how they get things like an artificial sun or an artificial moon to hang up in the sky or the atmosphere. Now, that sounds completely batshit crazy, does it not? I hear you, because I can hear me. It does sound crazy. But there's just too many patents and too many sightings to completely wave it off. There have been so many videos, pictures, and people from the mainstream, people that are not in the quote-unquote conspiratorial space, that have gotten videos of two moons, or the moon being in the wrong place, or the moon being in front of them and the moon being behind them. Well, that's because they have a patented lunar or moon simulator as well. And people can attribute this to, oh, they're just doing it in a laboratory environment. Well, that's not accurate whatsoever at all. And here are the receipts. Going all the way back to 2016 and probably prior, many countries have been building fake artificial moons and sun simulators to light up the sky, do this, that, and the other thing, basically to play God. And speaking of playing God, during the big eclipse of last year down in Missouri that I was at, it turns out that 4 days prior to that eclipse, NASA came out and said, we have a special set of spacecrafts that can now create eclipses on demand. Why in the world would they need to create eclipses upon demand other than blocking out the sun? And if the sun was 93 million miles away, this wouldn't be possible whatsoever at all. The moon and the sun in the sky are the lesser light and the greater light, period, as described in the Bible. And as you can see by simply looking at them, they're identical in size. NASA tries to wave that off as a convenient coincidence, nothing more, nothing less. So enough with the paperwork. Let me show you actual footage of the sun simulator failing during the day. You have to go to other countries to get these stories because the mainstream media in America is run by the CIA, which is why CNN has a outlet right inside the Pentagon. Yeah, that's how they roll. Now, this video was taken in Russia. The audio is horrendous. They're speaking in Russian, but what they were doing was showing this vehicle. They were just taking a video of the vehicle, and while they were doing that, suddenly, magically, the lights went out. And as you can see, they're outside right next to a highway. Everybody's just doing their thing, and then next thing you know, it starts to get really dark during the day. It was already a cloudy day, but I mean, clouds don't obstruct the sun to the point where it gets completely and utterly black outside. I'll leave links for the original video so you can translate it yourself, but I did, and that's all they were talking about was the vehicle, and they caught this. That's crazy. There's so many videos of people that have cameras set up on tripods. The cameras aren't readjusting. I work with cameras all the time, where you have literal video of the sun simulator either going out or going on incredibly brightly and then trying to get itself back down to normal, which is why they're probably covering it up with chemtrails all the time. You know what I mean? Back in the old days, when you went outside, if it was 65 degrees, it was 65 degrees. It was a beautiful day, so forth and so on. Now you can go outside and the ambient temperature will be 60 degrees, but the sun will be burning your skin so bad that you have to seek cover. Have you noticed that plants and trees don't wilt anymore in the fall? The leaves simply burn and then fall off. Do you know what I'm saying? This happens nonstop, it's never ending. And it's a pretty sad state of affairs when just regular common housewives and regular people, people that are not in the quote unquote conspiratorial space, are seeing things with their eyes and then getting them on video with their cell phones or their cameras or whatever. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. These guys have shown it, they've patented it, and they put newspaper articles out where they're saying they're putting up a solar simulator, they're putting up a lunar simulator. They can block out the sun now and create man-made eclipses. With everything that's going wrong on Earth, why do they spend so much money? Because they're playing lowercase g gods. They're trying to do everything God can do, but they can't. So they mimic it or they mess with it. One of the two. It's amazing. Now, I pulled this up years ago, so you're going to have to put up with the 2016 microphone camera setup that I had because, what are you going to do? But listen to this. This is Boeing's own website.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today's the 9th of May, 2017, and you're looking at a video I put up last September where we were spotting some sort of odd anomaly in front of the sun. Now, I've made videos ad nauseum about the sun simulator. I was the one that put the patents up the year before last that showed that NASA, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗱, all of these guys were indeed working on a sun simulator, a simulator satellite that could either reflect the sun from whatever position it was in down to Earth, but it would be manageable by men. Now, let's watch this video by Boeing, and see what they have to say. This is Boeing's YouTube channel. You know, the guys that make airplanes and spacecraft and whatnot. Watch it. Tell me if you notice anything.
Welcome to the world, 2116. You can fly across town in minutes or across the globe in under an hour. Whole communities are living on Mars. And solar satellites provide Earth with unlimited clean power. Satellites provide Earth with unlimited clean power. Satellites provide Earth with unlimited clean power.
Now, do you see that? This is Boeing's YouTube channel. This isn't my YouTube channel. This is Boeing's. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I have gotten hundreds of emails from Russia, the UK, Greenland, Iceland, Australia, and all over North America. And I'm leaving you guys out. I apologize. Canada, etc. It's a lot. It's so many that I just can't help but notice the topic. And the topic is people are noticing that not only is the sun white, it's no longer yellow like it used to be. B, that they're using the solar shield. They've upped the chemtrailing exponentially. I've literally seen a chemtrail this morning that I've never seen in my life before. It was two of them, perfect, identical, side by side. I don't know if it was two planes flying side by side or if it was some sort of a compound that came up, but it left a trail that I had never, ever seen before. And that's a first because that's how I started this channel. Right here, not only am I showing you some really, really incredibly strange videos people have caught. Now, these aren't remote cameras. Actually, this one is a remote camera, but people have sent me video from all over Earth showing this same exact anomaly. Now, these cameras right here, the FAA.gov ones, I don't necessarily believe them because, once again, they're run by the FAA and the government. This could all be a ruse to get us looking in the wrong direction, but it sure does look like it's not the sun. It sure does look like there's an element in front of the sun. And again, we found the patents. We found the patents to the fake sun. He caught the sun, or what he calls sun simulator glitch, with a GoPro camera, and he goes into the minutia of it. So the camera is catching the morning sky completely lighting up. and then it completely goes out. Now, that wasn't clouds coming in, because the clouds wouldn't turn the sky from bright to totally dark. It doesn't work like that, but continue watching. Sorry. Now he's going to go by frame by frame. For every 5 minutes that passes, it's represented as a second because it's in time-lapse mode. But watch this. Frame by frame, you can see it's nighttime, the sky completely lights up, and then it goes dark again. Now, a lot of people are going to try to attribute this to Nibiru or some other crazy planet that people get videos of, but nobody can ever see. I've never seen it, and I don't believe that in our reality that's even possible. What I do believe is that in this reality, we found enough evidence to prove that there's a sun simulator, and people are noticing it with their own eyes and their own cameras. People all over the world can't be wrong. This is something that suddenly happened this year. Last year, I do not recall the sun being obviously hot on your skin, yet the temperature around you does not rise. That's not normal. That's not how it works. And again, one more time, Harvard has come straight out and said completely that they are going to spray the sky, that it's the only thing we can do to save the children and our grandchildren, because the government, and especially the good old boys at Harvard, they really worry about our children. I mean, that's why they invented Skull and Bones, to protect the children, after all. You see what I'm saying? There are enough videos like this running around right now that you can come to the conclusion yourself that every single solitary thing that we know, everything they've taught us in school, is the complete and total opposite of what's true. And it's all coming out right now, exactly like it said. In the end times, all knowledge will become known.
And that was 10 years ago. I had no idea it was going to get this flagrant in the year 2025. But why is it that everybody that received moon rocks from NASA found out that they were just petrified wood? They weren't rocks from the moon whatsoever at all, because the moon is a plasma. The moon is a light. It's a God-created light. And you can't go up there and land on it, and you certainly can't pick rocks up on it. And according to AI and other things, the moon landing wasn't real anyways. It's something we kind of knew. But every time we turn around, there's another mysterious startup, like the one that Israel just started up for geoengineering, something that they're not doing whatsoever at all. But going all the way back to 2009, you can find this chemtrails hearing, the Committee on Science and Technology, the House of Representatives, all talking to Dr. David Keith, the guy that I told you about 13 years ago, and he's still in the mix to this very day. He's the one that signed off on the name Operation Satan in the UK. This has been going on for absolutely ever. But this isn't the only place where it's written in laws. It's not the only place that you can pull it up on a .gov website. They lie about it on the news, but if somebody actually got off their butt and looked things up, they would discover it. But here's what I discovered. People don't want to wake up, because if they wake up, as you probably well know, it changes your entire life. It changes your social circles. It changes your status in the community. People look down upon you. People whisper about you when you leave the room. How do I know? Well, because I live it every single solitary day. But it is what it is. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not shy about it. I got wide shoulders. I can handle it, I guess. But check this out, because I put this up years ago.
Now, for all those people that just can't quite wrap their mind around the fact that these things aren't and haven't been chemtrails, yes, you were entirely, completely lied to, and you are wrong. Your science is wrong. Not only is what everyone's been seeing in the sky pointing out to you absolutely right, they are spraying the skies. Harvard University came right out and told everybody. And then when people saw that, they rationalized it, they played it down, they made believe it didn't happen because they don't want to do anything. The biggest reason people ridicule and point things out and label it a conspiracy is because if these things were real, they would actually have to change their life. They would actually have to put down their cell phone, stop watching their television, and actually do something like the rest of us have been doing. Like the rest of us that have been getting ridiculed, laughed at, and labeled for years have been doing while they've been spraying, and spraying the skies. To the young Turks, you were wrong. To all those that laughed, to all those that can't see what is right directly in front of your face, here's the laws governing this. If you look up at the sky and see this and think that's a natural sun, that's supposed to be there, that God created this, that's not really, really wrong, well, then maybe this will help you. One of my subscribers sent me this, and I thought to myself, surely this can't be the legitimate House resolution for the state of Rhode Island, or for any state for that matter, because it's the Health and Safety Geoengineering Act of 2017. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. You see, our government no longer cares anymore. They're not going to ask permission. They've come out with it through David Keith, through Harvard University, and through Weather Channel and other multiple media outlets. They've slowly come out. They've told us about it. But this is what they're doing. Solar radiation management. Well, Richie, that's not a real document. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Because here it is, and it's in pretty much every state. It regulates the geoengineering. It regulates something that they've been doing for a long, long time, and we've been telling you that. Do you really think the weather is supposed to be white and cloudy every day? Do you really think a sunset's supposed to look like this? Because it doesn't.
And to add more insult to injury, back in around 2015, NASA came out with this school cloud identification chart. I figured they guessed that enough Gen Xers and enough baby boomers had died off that they could simply take over the classrooms and start pushing these wacky shapes coming out of the back of airplanes and putting a scientific name to them and calling them new clouds. New clouds. Do you even realize how ridiculous that is? But it stands. It stood. People believe it. People buy it. People don't even care anymore. It's astonishing to me, but here we are. Here we are. I don't really know what else to say. But geoengineering, they lie about it on television, but I mean, whenever you walk outside, half of what you see in your vision is the sky. And it's right there in front of everyone's faces, and nobody notices it except us, and they stifle us, they quiet us, they push us to the side, or they simply label us, and people ridicule us when they're in fact the ones that are completely and utterly wrong. So fighting climate change is a fool's errand, because climate change is geoengineering, nothing more, nothing less. And the worst part about all of this geoengineering is not only are they sprinkling barium, strontium, aluminum, and whatever else on us, heavy metals cause autism and dementia, FYI. They're controlling and weaponizing the weather. And I've shown you this ad nauseum, but like I said, I'm going to try to put everything in one video. So if you wanted to, you could present it to somebody because all the receipts are right here. I remember 10, 15, whatever it was, a long time ago, finding this document. One of my subscribers sent it to me, and I couldn't believe that it went back all the way back to 1997. But these guys had intentions of owning the weather by 2025, and now it's changed to owning the weather in 2025. Owning the weather, controlling the weather is indeed a godlike power. It absolutely is, without a doubt. But the thing is people still don't see this. They're literally chalking up all the tornadoes and hurricanes in diverse places. Weather systems that don't even belong are being accepted because people are writing it off as climate change. And if it's not climate change, well, the weather's bad because of all the wildfires. Well, the wildfires are from directed energy weapons that they patented and are up on Boeing's YouTube channel to this very day. It's not new. It's just being amplified and used like we have never seen before. And I can't help but notice that back in 2020, I mentioned in a live stream that when they finally go for this, when they go for the Agenda 2030, when they go for the New World Order, when they go for the Great Reset, they're going to use weather as a weapon like we have never seen before. And I'm going to have to say, we're there. Here it is. It's on. It's happening. Real time. Right now. So let me wrap this up with a video that I put up on my other YouTube channel, the only channel I had left on YouTube, Jailbreak Overlander, which was a viable channel. 150,000 subscribers, and you could make money off that channel. But I just couldn't not put this information out. And when I did, when you start putting truth videos on a regular channel, not only did I start losing subscribers, but YouTube started cracking the whip because they said, hey, wait a minute. Didn't we take this dude down? And, you know, I basically ruined the channel. But it is what it is. I had to say the truth. I couldn't not.
We're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion,
No.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong.
So you just heard the news lady and the physicist from, I think, 7 or 11 years ago. It was a while ago. This is old news. I talked about this when it was new news because it was germane. They're telling you, didn't Russia use this when Chernobyl meltdown? They used the weather modification to make it rain. And didn't China use it to make the weather go away so they could have a May Day parade? And he goes, we don't know about that. But they did use it to wash out the Ho Chi Minh Trail a couple of times during Vietnam. You know when Vietnam was? Before I was born. Do you know how far technology has come? Well, remember the word green lasers. Green lasers. Because let's take a look at Hurricane Milton down in the Gulf of Mexico right now. Let's take a look at the hurricane. Take a look at this area right here, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, because something I'm going to show you in a minute is going to make that even more prominent. But for now, I digress.
Right, and now, my friends, into the stuff you really want to know about. All right, let's take a look at Florida, and already it's looking like a disco party is going on. A lot of different radar activity going on. We got spikes here going all the way into the Gulf. Heavy lines up in this area, and then, of course, we have the one we saw with Hurricane Helene right here going off again. Now, of course, remember, these are just theories that we're talking about here, entertainment purposes only, because no way is weather modification real, right, everybody? Anyway, take a look down here near southern Florida. We got some right angle clouds taking place, a weird situation here ahead of the hurricane. And I want you to think about this because ahead of Hurricane Helene, we had a very significant low pressure system up by North Carolina already sitting there that then interacted with actual Hurricane Helene, causing the record breaking flooding. Now, just look at this one more time. Take a look at what's going on up here, the disco party, and then look at these clouds down here making unnatural formations, right angles. We don't see right angles in nature.
Instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts.
You notice that these lasers he's talking about and that they're showing are green trillion-watt lasers that look exactly like the lasers that are showing up all over the maps? Yeah, but that's not all. That's not all. With that in mind, with these guys actually saying it back in the day, and then this U.S. Air Force study that's been going on for as long as I can remember, 1996. That's about as far as I can remember. I'll leave links to this below. They keep messing with the link, but I keep fixing it. But this explains everything. It's everything, because weather is everywhere, and they can do everything to weather. And that is exactly what they're doing. They're taking down the world, but they have to make an example of the United States because we're a shining beacon of light. I'll leave links for this, but I mean, I don't know how much more I got to possibly tell you. How much you think everything is just coincidental timing? Right on cue? Over and over. Look at all these events that are happening. Food, water, and communications, and everything is on the World Wide Web, so everything can be killed with a switch, and probably including us. But for now, they're still keeping it kind of close to the vest because they're pumping out disinformation, saying that we're putting out disinformation, and yet it's all right here. It's all right here. Everything you would need to do to take down a country, they're doing. But I'm not done with the Hurricane Milton as of yet. Watch this.
Don't worry if you can't hear what I'm saying. This is the loudest sound you could possibly conceive. And, as it turns out, the cleanest. Now, the most amazing thing is that cloud up there, which was generated by the engine, is just a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. It's water vapor. And in about an hour's time, someone in Mississippi is going to get wet washing. It will actually rain.
So yes, when this was new, I showed this to you. This massive facility, I believe it's in Alabama, but it's right on the Gulf of Mexico. But this giant machine that NASA has can literally produce weather. Like, for instance, they could take all of this and add it to a Category 1 hurricane, and by the end of the night, or in just a few hours, it could be a Category 5. Yeah. And that's old technology. Another YouTuber caught this last night. I'm going to run it just so you can see it.
Here it is. It's Cat 5. And it's got, the look of a very strong hurricane. But watch what happens right after it achieves 5. Something starts to take place. It gets highly disturbed. Look at the spiral bands coming out from the edge. Like, see these spiral bands?
My point here is they can control the weather. You need to take the blinders off and understand that you are going to be in biblical situation very soon. They're doing everything that needs to be done to take down the country. They've filled it with millions of undocumented people that don't belong here. None of them have been vetted or anything. They're just flown in. You saw me go to the border in February. I went down there. It's real. It's real. They don't even need to climb through the massive half-mile open border wall because the government's flying them over, putting them on buses, giving them unlimited money, and sending them to all the largest cities and towns. Now, when that money shuts off, just like yours, these people are going to act just like they did in their other countries where they eat cats and dogs and maybe their neighbors. Who knows? Do you know what I'm saying? That's not hyperbole. These are facts. And every time we turn around, there's another hack or another issue. The banking system's gone down. The communication system's gone down. Or we just have the mainstream media kicking out bullshit lies about people that died in America. That is horrendous. That is horrendous. A hurricane hits eastern Tennessee, literally, and they send National Guard to Kuwait the same day. What are we doing here? $8 billion to Ukraine, no problem. $750 for every one of you people out in Asheville, as long as you can get an internet signal and apply for it. And remember, it's a loan. It's a loan. Do you see what I'm saying? This government has literally allowed our neighbor, Mexico, to have cartels that have flooded the United States for generations now, killing tens of thousands percentage more Americans and people worldwide than any terrorist could ever possibly hope. And they do nothing about it. In a real world, our government that just bombs anybody because they feel like it would take these guys out, but they don't, because it was all part of the plan to get us where we are right now. If a country is dysfunctional enough, shut down the communications, shut down their ability to consume, to buy gasoline, to buy food, to buy water, or blame it all on hackers, and they will turn on themselves. This is exactly what they're doing. I'll leave links below. You really need to start thinking about this because the clock is ticking. This election is going to be the worst thing that's ever happened on so many levels, and it's coming. Richie from Boston. I'm out. I even had the audacity to sign out on Jailbreak as Richie from Boston. But this video is very long, but I still want to include this right here. So check this out because this breaks my heart into so very many pieces. Because not only are we being attacked in the air, in the sea, in the water, in the food, night and day, day and night. And I gotta say this. I am noticing the days appear to be much shorter. Take that for whatever it's worth. But with all these other things mixed together, they've also had time to completely demoralize and dismantle the country. Have you not noticed? You will. Check this out.
Living in the United States of America, at least not the one I've known all my life. I've never wished to live anywhere else. This is my home, and I was privileged to be born here. But today I woke up, and as I had my morning coffee, I realized that everything is about to change. No matter how I vote, no matter what, I say something evil has invaded our nation, and our lives are never going to be the same. I've been confused by the hostility of family and friends. I look at people I've known all my life, so hate-filled that they agree with opinions they would never express as their own. I think I may have, entered the twilight zone. We become a nation that has lost its collective mind. You can't justify this insanity. If a guy pretends to be a woman, you're required to pretend with him. Somehow, it's un-American for the census to count how many Americans are in America. Russians influencing our elections are bad, but illegals voting in our elections are good. It was cool for Joe Biden to blackmail the president of Ukraine, but it's an impeachable offense if Donald Trump inquires about it. 20 is too young to drink a beer, but 18 is old enough to vote. People who have never owned slaves should pay slavery reparations to people who have never been slaves. People who have never been to college should pay the debts of college students who took out huge loans for their degrees. Immigrants with tuberculosis and polio are welcome, but you'd better be able to prove your dog is vaccinated. Irish doctors and German engineers who want to immigrate to the U.S. must go through a rigorous vetting process, but any illiterate gangbangers who jump the southern fence are welcome. $5 billion for border security is too expensive, but $1.5 trillion for free healthcare is not. If you cheat to get into college, you go to prison, but if you cheat to get into the country, you go to college for free. People who say there is no such thing as gender are demanding a female president. We see other countries going socialist and collapsing, but it seems like a great plan to us. Some people are held responsible for things that happened before they were born, and other people are not held responsible for what they're doing right now. Criminals are caught and released to hurt more people, but stopping them is bad because it's a violation of their rights. And pointing out all this hypocrisy somehow makes us racist. Nothing makes sense anymore. No values, no morals, and no civility. People are dying of a Chinese virus, but it's racist to refer to it as Chinese even though it began in China. We're clearly living in an upside-down world where right is wrong and wrong is right, where moral is immoral and immoral is moral, where good is evil and evil is good, where killing murderers is wrong but killing unborn babies is A-okay. Wake up, America. The great unsinkable ship, Titanic America, has hit an iceberg, is taking on water, and is sinking fast.
Say this because no one else has the brains or balls to, apparently.
why do we care and cater to a population that is like literally less than 1%? And why don't we use our brains, because we don't do that anymore? Why don't we do what's best for the 99.9% of the population and then continue to move forward as we've done throughout history?
Well, to answer that young lady's question, why is the 99% allowing the 1% to change the rules, change laws, change the workplace, change how your children are raised in school? Because reading, writing, arithmetic's out the window. This is all an agenda to completely destroy America from the inside out. As far as people not having the balls, a lot of us have had the balls for the years. Some of us have been doing it for decades, trying to warn people about what was coming. I remember back 10 years ago telling people that transgenderism was declared a mental disorder by Johns Hopkins. You can cut it off, but it doesn't change anything. It's all in here. At any rate, it's an agenda. It's to destroy the country. It isn't a coincidence that every single country is suddenly being overrun with angry Islamic folks wearing masks and hoods and carrying metal weapons while the police stand and watch. And when one of the citizens point out these Islamic people walking around armed, they're arrested. It's an agenda. They're looking for World War III or Civil War 2024 worldwide. There's your answer. So on that note, I'm going to wrap this video up. Links to absolutely everything will be below in the description box. And if you don't know what a description box, don't laugh. Some people don't. This is it right here. This is the description box. Links to absolutely everything that are in this video and about my channels is below. At any rate, enjoy the day. Richie from Boston. Pray, fast, prepare. I'm out.